Alright everyone, welcome back. The lack of local wildlife is probably due to Einsburg magecraft. Still, there are wild dogs around, and in the worst case I might run into something even worse than that. I avoid a thicket that looks like something might be living there, and continue retracing my steps. A wise man keeps away from danger. An iron rule of hiking isn't to run away at the first sign of danger, but to avoid dangerous-looking places to begin with.
にしても、この森、イリアに見せてもらった時と様子が違う気がする。
It's like the air feels different on my skin. With each step I take deeper into the forest, I feel an unpleasant tingle up my spine. Don't go this way. Leave this forest right now. No matter how many people you bring, none will return alive. Even the trees seem to whisper that as their branches away in the wind.
そういえば、この匂い。
I thought it was the scent of tree sap, but it's not quite that. It has the same sweetness, but not the vitality of the forest. This is... I'm pretty sure. I draw a wooden sword from my bag. I stop, concentrate, and take a few minutes to strengthen my sword.
何か来る。
I hear footsteps from the direction of the thicket. Straining my ears, I can hear it mixed with the sound of someone pushing through branches and a creaking noise. It's coming. Something makes a beeline for me through the greenery. I raise my wooden sword. I tense my arms slightly to tighten my grip on the sword, raise the weapon to an overhead striking position, and...
そこまでだ。動か。
そこまでよ。動かないで。
Oh, Tosaka. We both freeze. Now then, how should I break this deadlock?
ちょっと、いい加減それ下げてくれない？お化け屋敷じゃないんだから。
Tosaka is the first to break the ice.
すまん。
I lowered the wooden sword as I asked.
珍しいところであったじゃない。一応聞いておくけど、ピクニックの下見ってわけじゃないわよね。
わけあるか。そういう遠坂こそなんだよ。森林浴って柄じゃないだろ、お前。今度は何企んでんだ？
失礼ね。森林浴ぐらいするわよ。そりゃ今日は違う要件だけど。
She protests with a grunt. What surprises me is that she doesn't deny that she's up to something.
遠坂、お前、イリアとやり合おうってのか？
I get straight to the point.
だとしたらどうなの？あなたはもうマスターじゃない。なら私たちの戦いに首を突っ込む資格も義理もないはずよ。
ない。けど、遠坂がイリアと戦うっていうのなら止める。
なんでよ。もしかしてイリアとサクラを組ませるって腹？
それもあるけど、遠坂、イリアと戦ったらただじゃ済まないぞ。始めたらどっちかが必ず傷を負う。そういうのは嫌だ。俺はもともと
初めから戦いを止めるためにでしょ。なんだ、それまだ変わってなかったんだ。
Tosaka shifts from her barbed attitude to an exasperated shrug. This is her true face, the one that always drags me around and was close by my side until Sakura ended up in her current situation.
なんだよ。一度決めたことなんだから、そう簡単に変えられるわけないだろ。
でしょうね。ほんと前々から思ってたんだけど。
What's she getting at? Tosaka heaves an exaggerated sigh.
エミヤくんってすっごいバカでしょ。
She gives me a grin so bright it makes me blink even as she says that.
けどいいわ。懲りないやつだけど、あなたはそうでなくちゃ張り合いがない。不器用は不器用なりに、せいぜい努力することね。
なんだその勝ち怒った顔は。なんか無性に腹立つな、お前。
いいからいいから。で、その格好からするに、エミヤ君もイリアスフィールに用があるってわけね。さっきは当てずっぽうで言ったけど、本当にイリアスフィールと話し合いをするつもりなんだ。
I can't believe she's grinning at me like that while I get mad. Damn it. For some reason, I'm weak to Tosaka when this happens. It's like I lose no matter what I say. Like the more I protest, the more I get driven into a corner.
どうしたの？急に黙っちゃって。黙秘なんてエミヤくんらしくないわよ。
そうだよ。お前の言う通りだ。俺は今からイリアに会いに行くんだから邪魔するな。ついてきたら追っ払うからな。
あれ？何？もしかしてイリアスフィールの居場所知ってるの？
Oops. I said something else I shouldn't have.
よかった。それなら案内してもらえる？私も大体の場所はわかるんだけど、大昔の地図だから信憑性低くって。エミヤくんが知ってるなら話は早いわ。
お前な、俺はついてくるなって言ったんだぞ。
あら、エミヤくんはイリアスフィールと話し合いに行くのに、私から目を離していいの？万が一私が先に到着しちゃったら、もう話し合いどころじゃないと思うけど。
お前、俺を脅迫する気か？
She's good at playing with him. A lot of the times, too.
大体な、一緒に行ったところでイリアに喧嘩売るんだろお前は。
売らないわよ。イリアスフィールと共闘できるならそれに越したことはないもの。とりあえずやるべきことは造形の排除でしょ。私がここに来たのはイリアスフィールに忠告に来ただけだもの。
忠告って何だ？
マトウ造形が何やら企んでるから甘く見てると痛い目に遭うって。キャスターのこともあるし、バーサーカーまでああなっちゃこっちが不利でしょ。けどそう忠告したところで戦いになるって覚悟してたけどね。私とあの子じゃ話し合いなんてできない。一応忠告してそれで戦いになるのなら仕方ないって思ってた。いずれ倒さないといけない相手だし、遅いか早いかの違いでしょ。でも見たところエミヤ君には当てがありそうじゃない？なら冒険をする必要もないし、エミヤ君の努力次第でことは丸く収まるってこと。ほら難しい顔しない。あなたがイリアスフィールを説得できるなら私はおとなしく帰ってあげる。でもし失敗したら協力してあの子を倒すか、二人して逃げられるように手を貸すわ。
悪い話も何も、お前どうあったって俺の後をついてくる気だろ。
まさかそんなの言いがかりよ。たまたま行き先が同じってこともあるんだし。
What a devil. Still, Tosaka's doing me a favor by letting me guide her. If I let her go, she might fight Ilya, but if she comes with me, then she'll behave.
言っとくけど、俺だって道に確証はないぞ。迷っても文句言うなよ。
それは心配無用よ。あなたが向かっている方角、地図とぴったり一致するもの。私の地図とエミヤ君の案内があれば迷うことなんかないわ。
わかった、観念したよ。城まで一緒に行こう。そうすればとりあえずイリアとは戦わないんだな。
ええ、あなたがイリアスフィールと交渉している間も邪魔はしないわ。あの子敵に回したら厄介だけど味方にできるなら頼もうし。
地震。
The trees sway. A noise that resembles an explosion echoes from afar. No, this was no earthquake. Something like a typhoon is raging nearby.
まさかこれ。
まさか。どうやら一歩遅かったようね、私たち。
じゃあ向こうで暴れてるのはバーサーカーなのか？
ええ、私たちがここにいる以上バーサーカーが戦う相手は一人しかいない。どうする？私は行くけどエミヤ君は残る？
Of course. I'm keeping up. There's no time to think. Why would I stay? That's a silly thing. should hurry and see what's going on.
俺も行く。そのために来たんだからな。
それじゃあ私の後ろに行って。アーチャーを先行させるから、それで出会い頭に即死ってのだけは避けられるわ。
With that, Tosaka starts running deeper into the forest. Archer drops from spirit to material form, gives me one glance, and then charges forward, blazing a path.
イリア、ブーしていろよ。
I grip my winged sword tightly and chase after them as fast as I can. The dark giant escaped from the castle with the little girl. It was an inexplicable fight. Or flight, sorry. They left what would normally be the best possible defensive position and fled into the forest, where they're more vulnerable. Danger was closing in. The girl sensed that unavoidable truth first. The enemy slowly approaching the castle. When she sensed how great the threat was, she raised the castle's defenses to maximum and woke up the giant in preparation for its arrival. Berserker, the dark giant with a steel-like body. Robbed of his sanity, he's been reduced to an avatar of destruction bent only on obeying the girl. With her bodyguard and defenses, she has no enemy to be afraid of. That's what she told herself as she tried to fight down the sense of inevitable dread. And yet, as soon as the enemy approached, the giant at her side told her, "Run." Robbed of his sanity and speech, even the mad warrior sensed that he couldn't win against whatever was coming for them. Instantly, the girl fled. She knows. She knew. There's nothing they can do against the thing at the castle walls. With the sun behind it, the ominous shadow expanded until it became large enough to easily scale the walls. They would lose. Berserker can't win against it, to say nothing of herself. If they fight it, they're sure to lose, and Berserker won't be her servant anymore. That's the source of her unease. The girl ran because she was afraid of losing her servant, not losing the fight. With the girl in his arms, the dark giant races through the forest. Her apprehension weighs on her even more heavily. They can't escape. Vaguely realizing that there's no escape from this dread, from this fear, the girl orders the dark giant to stop.
おう、賢明じゃな。勝てぬと悟って出てきよったが。
Before her stands an old mage, wrinkled and old like a withered tree. Next to him stands an assassin wearing a white skull mask, Zolkin Mato. She recognizes him with a single look as a mage of the Makiris, whom she was taught about when she left the castle in her homeland.
マト造剣。聖杯に選ばれてもいない者がマスターの真似事をしているのね。
The girl climbs down from the dark giant and faces the old man. There's no fear in her eyes. The threat that she and the giant felt is most certainly not the person in front of them.
聖杯はマスターなど選ばぬ。聖杯とは受け皿に過ぎぬもの。そこに意志があり、性別をするなどと、お主まで教会の触れ込みに毒されたが。
The girl watches the old man coldly as he chuckles good in delight. He's right. The Holy Grail does not choose. Masters are chosen by the Holy Grail. Servants are granted physical form by its power and are anchored in the world by their masters. That rule, that pretext was deliberately distorted and spread. The girl knows that the goal of the Holy Grail War is just the opposite. It is merely to fill the Grail. The masters are not chosen. They are merely components of a ritual. Likewise, servants are merely used to open the gate.
あなたこそモーネに毒されているんじゃないの、造剣。器になる聖杯に意志はないけど、マスターを選び出す大聖杯には意志があるわ。もともとこの土地に原型があるからこそ、あなたたちは英霊を呼び出して聖杯を満たそうとした。ま、当事者であるあなたがそれを忘れるぐらいだから、マキリの血は衰退したんでしょうけど。
The girl's voice is cold. She shows nothing but scorn for him, and the old man accepts it with a chuckle.
いやいや、心配には及ばぬ。マキリの衰退もここまでよ。ことはなりつつあってな。予定では次の儀式で行うはずじゃったが、今回は駒に恵まれての。わしの悲願は あと一手で叶おうとしておる。
そうなら勝手にすれば。私あなたに興味はないわ。私以外の器なんて気に入らないけど、どうせ失敗するんだし邪魔はしないから、おとなしく地の底に戻ったら。
言われるまでもない。この老体に日の光は辛いのでな。ことが済めば早々に古巣に戻る。だがやはりのこうもうまくいきすぎると逆に不安が大きくなる。万が一のためお主の体をもらい受ける。ここでお前を抑えておけば我が悲願は盤石じゃ。
The old man burns with a ghastly aura. The white skull slowly stands up but stops against the old man's wishes. It's obvious with a glance. The white masked assassin is overwhelmed by the giant's presence. He has absolutely no chance of defeating it. He'll be cut in half in a single stroke if he attacks, so he stays still knowing full well what awaits him.
主に似て臆病なサーバントね。そんなに死ぬのが怖いなら戦わなければいいのに。あなたといい造剣といい、そんなに自分の命が大事？
Assassin doesn't answer. Instead, his master laughs loudly.
ああ、大事だとも。我が望みは不老不死。こやつの望みも永劫に刻まれる自身の名でな。我らは同じ目的のためこうして邁進しておるというわけだ。
正気なのあなた。聖杯にかける望みが不老不死ですって。
The girl's eyes are filled with disgust. The old man's sneer twists even more. It's as if he was waiting for her criticism and scorn.
当然じゃ。見よこの体を。刻一刻と機能を失い悪臭を放ち体は内から溶け、こうしている今も脳細胞は蓄えた知識を失っていくのだ。その痛み、生きながら崩れゆく苦しみがお主にわかるか。
自業自得でしょ。人の体は100年の時間に耐えられない。それを超えようというのだから代償は必要だわ。それに耐えられないなら消えればいい。苦しいのなら死ねば楽になるんじゃなくて。
The old body trembles. The mage's back quivers as if he's having a coughing fit.
やはりそうきたか、アインツベルン。貴様らとて1000年続けて同じ思想よ。所詮人形。やはり人間には近づけなんだ。
He chortles heartily, finding it truly
なん
hilarious.
ですって。
たわけめ。よく聞くがよい、冬の娘よ。人の身において死に勝る無念などない。虫どもの苗床となるこの痛みなど、己が死に比べればかほどのものでもないわ。自己の存続こそが苦しみから逃れる唯一の真理。死ねば楽になるなどと、それこそ生きていない証ではないか。だからこそお主は人形に過ぎぬのだ。その急増の体ではあと1年と持つまい。短命に定められた作り物に人間の欲望は理解できぬということだ。
ええ、理解できないわ。あなたは人間の中でも特例だもの。そんな長く生きたくせに自分の寿命を受け入れられないなんて感心したとしか思えない。ねえ、あなたそんなに死にたくないの？
無論わしは死ぬわけにはいかん。このまま死にたくはない。まだ世にとどまり生を続けなくてはならん。だがそれもすでに限界。故に崩れぬ体、永劫不滅の器が欲しい。そのために
聖杯を手に入れようというの？死が恐ろしいから 聖杯を求めるの？
死が恐ろしくない人間がいるのかね。よいか、いかな真理、いかな境地にたどり着こうと無駄なこと、自己の消滅、世界の終焉を克服することはできん。最後に知っておけ。目の前に生き延びる手段があり、手を伸ばせば届くというのなら、何者をもたとえ世界そのものを犠牲にしても手に入れるのが人間だとな。
じゃああなたは自分が生き続けるために他の人間をみんな犠牲にするっていうの？
おうよ。それで我が望みが叶うというのなら、世界中の人間を一人一人殺して回っておるわ。人の強欲は尽きぬもの。お主とて木々の一本一本が寿命を延ばす妙薬とすれば、この森など瞬く間に食らい尽くそう。たとえそれがわずか一日足らずの延命だとしてもな。己が一日のために世界の一部を殺していく。その願望はこの森だけでは飽き足らず、世界中の木々を殺すことになろう。その行いによって他人が滅びようと知ったことではない。当然であろう。もとより人間とはそのようにしてここまで広がり、育ち増え、肥満しきった有象無象。そこにもはや連鎖すべき法則など成り立たぬ。いずれ破綻するのであれば、わし一人が足並みを崩したところで誰にも異論は挟ませぬわ。
The old man rants merrily. Oh boy, does he. After staring at him for a moment in surprise,
呆れたわ。そこまで見失ってしまったの、アキル。
the girl speaks in a voice very unlike that of a girl.
何？
思い出しなさい。私たちの悲願、奇跡に至ろうとする絶望はどこから来たものなのか。私たちは何のために人の身であることにこだわり、人の身であるままに人あらざる地点に到達しようとしていたのかを。
The laughter dies. The old mage stares up at the sky in contemplation.
人形風情がよくも言った。ユスティーツァーの真似事も刷り込み済みというわけか。
He stares at the pale girl with a hideous expression.
もうよい。戯れはここまでじゃ。お主の体はいるが心になど用はない。アインツベルンの聖杯、このマキリ造剣がもらい受ける。
The old man's shadow creeps along the ground, as if in response to the worrying pressure that had been hanging over the girl increases. It's time to make a move then. The dark giant moves out without waiting for his master's command. Her voice doesn't reach him. Kicking up a violent tempest, the dark giant storms in to mow down the encroaching shadow. I hear the sound of wind. The thing running through the forest and making the trees shake creates a familiar sounding wind. The tremors gradually grow stronger. We're nearing their source. It's probably just beyond this forest. We're almost upon it. Just beyond this dense overlapping wall of trees, a battle of epic proportions is happening. I skid to a halt. Right before I come into a clearing, I stop as fast as I can and hide.
バサか。
Tosaka takes cover behind a tree too, and we behold the disastrous spectacle in the clearing. The clearing is literally a battlefield. 3 servants are clashing weapons. One is Berserker, the Dark Giant. Second is the White Skull Masked Assassin. And the third... Oh no. And the third is...
ちょっと、あれまさか。
Tosaka's voice is shaking. I can't quite hear it. She's whispering right next to me, but the words don't enter my brain. The third servant. It's my first time seeing the third combatant clad in black plate armor and visor. At the same time,
そんなことが
it immediately calls to mind someone I know well. The dark giant raises a war cry. He cleaves through the air with enough force to split a mountain, making the earth explode. The third combatant doesn't shy away from the flying rock and gravel. The black armored servant breezes past Berserker's great sword and earth in assault, as if it's source of this raging wind. Oh man. The roars of anguish belong to the giant. He possesses a steel bite that renders all attacks ineffective, and the black swordsman easily slices it open. A sword paints Berserker's flank in black, the inky light threatening to swallow him whole.
ダメ逃げるのバーサーカー。そいつにやられたら戻ってこれなくなる。もう戦わなくていいから早く。
Ilya's voice is tearful.
無駄よ無駄。キャツに囚われてはもはや逃れられん。2対1ならばまだしも3対1では指し物大英雄もここまでだろうて。
Zokin must be the one cackling. The two masters, Ilya and Zokin, face each other far from behind the protection of their servants. In front of Zokin is the assassin who seems to have lost Berserker. Berserker's in front of Ilya. His entire body is being corroded by something black. A dark swamp surrounds his feet. The ground isn't made of earth. It's some bottomless pit of mud hampering his movements. On top of that, black vines from the swamp trap his arms and legs. Oh no, it's getting him too. I know those. They definitely belong to the shadow. But for an instant, I feel like I'm looking at someone I know well. The duel reaches a new pitch, bringing me back to my senses. It's a desperate situation. Berserker is strong. He's fighting the Black Swordsman evenly, even as the shadow tries to swallow him. But he's at his limit. The Black Swordsman easily runs forward and slashes Berserker. Even if he's at least as strong as his opponent, Berserker's freedom of movement is stripped away as the fight drags on, meaning the scales will only tip further in the swordsman's favor with each passing second.
勝負あったな。あとは任せたぞアサシン。これ以上ここによっては巻き添えを食らいかねん。バーサーカーが逃れ次第アインツベルンの娘を捕らえ戻ってくるがよい。
Zokin blends into the mist. He's departing the forest, leaving an assassin behind.
よいか。キャツは目につくものならば見境なくのむ。それが魔力の塊ならばなおのことだ。アインツベルンの娘、むざむざ飲まれることのないようにな。
His presence grows faint along with his physical form. Zokin is gone. Only Assassin and Berserker remain, as well as the Black Swordsman holding their weapon aloft.
ダメそんなのバーサーカーでも死んじゃう。だからもう逃げてよバーサーカー。
Ilya whimpers in an emotionless daze. Did he hear it? The dark giant roars and advances. His charge just looks like a tornado to me. Berserker kicks his way out of the ground, free up the black shadow that had swallowed him up to the waist and charges. What he's doing is inconceivable. Not only was he being constricted by the mud at his feet, the shadow also had him entirely bound. He couldn't move. His body was getting eaten by the shadow, meaning Berserker couldn't take a single step. So he decided to tear himself free. With one hand, he grabbed the shadow that lashed onto his chest and tore it off with a whipping sound. He literally tore his body open wherever the shadow had gripped him, exposing his innards. His massive physique is swift. This time, his attack is sure to crush the Black Swordsman. This will likely be the last blow. With his body ripped apart and on the verge of death, he'll make absolutely sure to kill his enemy. And the swordsman answers the assault. with their greatest attack.